Hello and welcome to my latest reaction video, which is part of a long-running series I'm doing on this channel, where I go back and rewatch all of the classic series of Ben 10, and rank each episode depending on how much I enjoyed it, based on a certain criteria I listed in the first reaction video I ever did. In today's episode, we're going to be reacting to Hunted, an episode I remember quite enjoying as both a kid and on many of my rewatches as an adult. But judging on the fact that the last episode managed to be our first C tier, could my nostalgia for the classic series finally be waning? And will I rank Hunted in the D tier? Stick around and find out, folks. And with that out of the way, let's dive into the reaction now, shall we?
Begin the audition.
Alright, I already opened the can of Red Bull, so can't really make that joke anymore. But listen guys, I only drink it for the videos. And yes, I had canes and some cookies earlier. But listen, I'm an android built to mimic a human being in their systems. I'm not actually a human being, so I'm operating at peak performance, baby. Just like these three are. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and continue with the reaction. Always hits well for these videos. Okay, but come on. Gwen destroyed one of those things. They're not that strong. All I'm saying is, so far, I'm not impressed, 6-6. A little more impressive, but again, those things are weak as shit. Let's see what our boy Tetrax can do though. Now that's what I'm talking about.
The one who succeeds collects the reward. Do not disappoint me.
I like that they're already kind of pitted against each other, so we, the audience, are constantly waiting to see, are they going to turn on each other? Are they going to work together? Are they going to work together then turn on each other, or vice versa? It kind of puts you in an immediate mood of suspense that carries on throughout this episode, at least in my opinion.
Don't just try to muscle it. Might isn't always right.
Okay, but in Ben's defense, what about this doesn't require muscle? Like, how is this testing his thinking abilities during battle? Meh. I guess Grandpa Max couldn't figure that part out in building this crazy contraption, but still. Maybe have a few of those fake hostage bag things where like the guy is holding the hostage and Ben has to aim directly at the guy and not the hostage or something. Just an idea.
Whoa, big talk from a gearhead.
Really like the insult like gearhead in the language 6-6 is using. It reinforces that these are aliens / different species with their own unique set of ideals and methods of speaking. It's a lot better than the whole galactic translator thing a lot of sci-fi uses in my opinion, because it makes these aliens seem more alien for lack of a better term. They're creatures that do not operate under the same mindset that we humans do.
Lucky shot?
I should be able to patch it up.
Sorry, Grandpa. Let me help. Maybe forearms. No, wait, upgrade.
I think you've done enough, Ben. I'll handle this.
Okay, but upgrade would solve the problem though. Just saying. And also, come on, Grandpa Max. Gasoline was way cheaper in 2005. You're not gonna get me to feel sorry for you.
Calling all dweebs!
Guys, you generated Coffeezilla. It's a 3-part series. He spent a year
and you allowed the love of your life to get fucked.
Very good.
Get over yourself, doofus. You don't scare me. But he does.
Now hold on a minute, Gwen. Ghost Freak is definitely scarier than fucking Crab, okay? Like, I like Crab and all, but come on. Ghost Freak is a way scarier villain than he is.
As arrogant as you are dim-witted.
Now hold on a minute, Crab. Going invisible and sneaking up behind someone in order to take them out is a 10 out of 10 maneuver. What is this dim-witted nonsense I'm hearing? This was unironically Ben's smartest play this episode. Or second best, I guess, considering the end of this episode.
That was even weirder than when I normally go Ghost Freak.
Is that the first hint of Ghost Freak being weird? I always thought it was the Zombozo episode, but I guess it was this one, unless it happened in one of the earlier episodes and I just forgot to comment on it. Either way though, I think a better way of going about it would have probably just been to have Ghost Freak be Ben's favorite alien because of how weird he felt, only to realize that that favoritism was because Ghost Freak was alive, that he was feeling the thrill of two people at once or something. I'm not against him being like scared of him the whole time, but I just feel like the second one could have been more dramatic. But meh, it's fine as it is. That's just me offering up different ideas for the series, since I'm so used to the way it already happened. Now hold on, guys. He could be friendly. Let's talk to him. Or not, I guess.
Pathetic excuse for prey.
See, that's what I'm talking about. The bounty hunters aren't even safe from each other, making this episode into a kind of four-way between everyone. I probably should have said free-for-all instead of four-way. God damn it, I really need another Red Bull.
Ben, come on!
I'll catch up. First, I'm gonna put some dents in this walking soda machine.
I like that Ben's reaction is immediate action. He thinks this is the best way to handle things because what else are you supposed to do when you're getting chased besides fight back? And on the other hand, Grandpa Max wanting to strategize and not play into the alien hands that are obviously way more experienced than they are also makes sense. But it's hard for him to communicate the idea in a way that makes sense to young Ben, and is why he has to figure it out on his own later on in this episode. I think that makes it more interesting than just, oh, Ben is arrogant like people say he is. He is, in his own way, trying to do what he thinks is the most intelligent / right thing to do in this situation. Even if it appears to us that he's arrogant, in his eyes, which are a flawed 10-year-old protagonist's eyes, this is the best way to handle things. It's like when Harry Potter tries to snitch on Snape because he thinks Snape is after him based on how Snape treats him and what he thinks of his character. Sure, obviously it comes across as a kid accusing a teacher he doesn't like, but given the context and the fact that we're in his head throughout most of the series, his thought process makes sense. I don't know, it works for me, even though I know it doesn't work for a lot of other people. I just wanted to give my take on it since I know this is kind of a popular criticism of both the later episodes after this one and Ben's character as a whole throughout all of the sequels and reboot continuity.
Back off. That reward's mine. Well, you don't have to get personal.
How much stronger is Tetrax compared to Ben? I get that Ben's aliens are supposed to scale with his age, but even still, Tetrax doesn't even seem to be struggling half the time. Does the suit make him stronger, or is he legitimately just that much better than Ben?
Victory should have been swift and effortless.
Okay, swift and effortless? Come on, 6'6" and Crab are just as strong as you are. And currently, Ben does not have master control. I guess Tetrax's response would be either Ben should have learned it by now, or he should have just used a different alien. But still, I'm just saying, Diamond Head wasn't the worst choice.
You're a good guy?
I like this twist. Tetrax seemed to be set up to be the most dangerous of the three, but he's actually a good guy trying to keep the Omnitrix from Vilgax and the bounty hunters. He may be harsh on Ben, but that's only because he's worried about the Omnitrix falling into the wrong hands.
I am a noble warrior. You are an impulsive annoyance.
Probably my favorite scene from this episode. Not only does it establish Ben's aliens as something more real / tangible in other species like Tetrax, it also establishes how little Ben has gotten used to their abilities and how he still has a long ways to go in mastering each of his 10 different transformations. Honestly, while I'm fine with Ben getting more aliens as the series goes on, I think a more interesting Ben 10 series could have seen Ben learning new powers from each of the aliens he has throughout the numerous seasons. Like, maybe he doesn't unlock Upgrade's laser blast till way into season 3 against Dr. Victor Ghost Freak. I think that could have been really interesting because each of the 10 would have had to be a lot more unique. Although I guess the argument against this idea would be that eventually the aliens would be so stacked with powers it would be kind of ridiculous, but that already kind of happens in the sequels anyways, especially with ultimate transformations. So I think my idea has some merit, and I'd like to see it explored in a potential Ben 10 sequel, if we ever get one.
See, we've decided to work together and split the reward. You in half.
Another great twist to round out the second half of this episode. Now the bounty hunters are even more dangerous, to the point where even Tetrax isn't able to keep up with them. And it feels fairly in character. I know I said I like the idea of a free-for-all, but I'm not against them teaming up either, since it makes a kind of logical sense. And with the way they wrote this episode, it works pretty well, because either way, they wouldn't be able to take on Tetrax and Ben at the same time without potentially losing the reward. And none of them want to go back to Vilgax without that thing. I don't think he is 6'6". Or maybe he's just really bad at shooting things. Who knows?
What are we waiting for? We gotta save them!
See, Ben's all about immediate action and not wanting to see the people he loves gets hurt. I don't know, his mindset just makes sense to me. I get why it's so criticized, but I mean, come on. Put any other human being, scratch that, put any other 10-year-old human being in this same situation, and I feel like the result would be mostly the same. Learning to pause and think is kind of a universal thing, but with the added stress of Ben's parents being in danger, it just makes sense to me that he's so impulsive. I don't know, I guess I should stop trying to counter criticism during this reaction series, but some of the critiques Ben gets just don't hold up to any amount of scrutiny, in my opinion, that I know I'll get yelled at for in the comments below because everyone's a Reddit debate lord.
Not to me. That's my family.
Alright, I know I literally just addressed the criticism, but again, this scene showcases why Ben's impulsive under pressure. He doesn't want to see people get hurt, but he can't think/process enough in order to come up with a plan during stressful situations like these. It's not just 10-year-old boy learns to be less arrogant, it's 10-year-old boy learns to think under extreme pressure. Huh, maybe he was right about victory being swift and effortless.
I hate this planet.
Me too, Crab. Me too.
Only one way to beat the desert heat, don't you think?
Pretty smart for a human.
That's what I've been saying.
Hold on. You said you needed this to get off the planet.
Selective disinformation.
Hey, that's what our politicians do. Yeah, I definitely should have gotten another Red Bull. This reaction's not going well either.
It would appear the creature who possesses the Omnitrix is as clever as it is fierce. But I shall not be denied.
You tell him, Vilgax. You are the king. You will rip that human to smithereens and watch its bloody corpse. Ah, wait, I still need to get paid for these videos. Can't risk getting demonetized just because I love Vilgax. Sorry, King. Another time. Alright, time to rank the episode. To the surprise of absolutely no one, I think this episode is S tier. It has amazing action sequences, unique and interesting villains that all bounce off each other pretty well and have distinct personalities, has a good moral lesson that makes sense for Ben's character to learn, and just genuinely uses its premise really well. The idea of numerous alien mercenaries going after Ben, whilst also not quite trusting each other, whilst also attacking Ben whilst he's trying to learn things, just makes for a really good episode. The thing that made Permanent Retirement a little weaker in my opinion was the fact that it didn't really use its premise that well. I mean, aliens disguised as humans that seem to be rather elderly and not a threat to the main characters was an extremely interesting idea that never really got expanded upon, besides for a couple scenes. And ultimately the ending of the episode really could have been a fight sequence with any alien. It didn't see the characters pulling off a Scooby-Doo style detective scene, but rather just a generic fight sequence that, although very well choreographed and well done, felt like it could have been in any episode, but the conflict here just wouldn't work in any other episode in my opinion, and wouldn't have been as interesting without the mercenary characters. So for all those reasons, I feel like S tier is the perfect place to put this episode, because it goes above and beyond just its premise and ideas, thanks to everything else I just mentioned, like the unique choreography and lesson Ben has to learn, as well as the character interactions between everyone, not just our main cast. But anyways guys, I think that wraps up this reaction episode. If you're interested in seeing more of this series, I'd recommend checking out the past couple uploads I've done, and the playlist I've created for this series. If you're new around here and enjoyed this video, I'd recommend subscribing to see more of this series, as I'm planning on reacting to all of Season 1 of the original Ben 10 show. And from there, we'll continue on with the rest of the seasons, and maybe even some of the sequels, depending on the response I get to these videos. So make sure you like and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more of these videos. That's all for now though guys. See you guys in the next reaction video.